Thank you for joining me. As you see, I got a handsome and quality guest with me today. This young man, Jordan Marr, is fantastic. I've only met him recently, but just like the diaspora, and like you know how it always is, we have a connection no matter what, no matter where we are. So currently, we're talking really from his home here in Bali, Bali, Bangkok, Thailand. Jordan is from the United States, and I'm giving his background. Let him talk in a moment as far as getting known further, but just a brief idea from the US, and he's been living here 3 years, am I
Yeah, 3
right?
years.
Living here in Bangkok for 3 years. He's a chef, so the young man can throw down in the kitchen.
Yeah.
He's also a model. He's also an actor here in Bangkok, and he's been doing some fantastic things. So I want to bring him on because, here on Travel with Comar, the whole goal is to show you all how to live internationally indefinitely or permanently and do it where it's comfortable, but do it realistically, where you have a lifestyle that's conducive to your growth and your development. And I think this young man can speak to this far better than I can. I haven't been here. So, Jordan, let's give them a little bit about your background from the United States. Where are you from specifically, and what were you doing when you were in the States, and then what got you moving forward? So, three-part question: what were you doing in the U.S.?
Well, what I was doing in the United States was I was actually like a chef and personal chef. I was working at a restaurant and then doing personal chefing on my side. So, like, I would just handle bookings and kinda just for the longest time I did it for, like, 13 years, and I kinda got tired,
Okay.
you
What
know?
part of U.S. were you in?
I was in Orlando/Miami,
Okay.
like, dad was in Orlando, mom was in Miami, so I was always, like, visiting different parts of family.
Hmm.
So just like vice versa, just like going in between and always working in between, but kind of just got tired of it. It was like a race with no destination.
Interesting. Well,
Mm.
before we go to the
Yeah,
race to no
yeah, yeah, yeah.
destination, a young man from in Florida primarily,
Yes.
right? What got you into wanting to be a chef? Because that's a very unique,
Oh,
culinary arts. That's a very unique.
um, well, I didn't always want to become a chef. I actually started off going to acting, singing, and dancing
Okay.
classes. So I was a drama major
Okay.
at first, and then like I fell in love with food. I mean, growing up, my grandfather was a chef in the army. So
Oh,
he always just like taught me how to cook. He's Jamaican
okay.
and like Irish. So he would always just like teach me different styles of cooking growing up. I guess I kind of fell in love with that. Like
Okay.
after when the acting thing wasn't really working for me
Mm,
back in like America, then I kind of switched to culinary arts and I excelled.
okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. So you were doing acting too in the States as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Because that
Yeah.
was okay. School for. Well,
Mhm.
what did you find to be difficult about that, if you don't mind me asking, or was it just like the opportunities for people like us? Was it like, or just the
So
market you were in?
it was the market
Hmm.
because it's just so saturated, everybody wanted to do it. But it's like coming out here compared to over there, it's like it's you coming here, you just come with a different style. It's like
Hmm.
they just want more. It's just like of what we have over there. It's just over there they have enough of it.
Hmm.
So it's like you're just fighting just to like get seen, just to get a word out here. It's like you don't really have to do much.
Interesting. I can only imagine, 'cause I would imagine being in the States, you go on a casting call, and you're probably in a
Yeah,
room full of, like, 100 of you, right?
yeah. It's like
Probably.
shoot. So it's like as long as you come correct and you're like, respectful, it'll take you a long way. It's like you'll be surprised how much you'll thrive out here.
I got okay, so I still wanted to just take a step back
Yeah, yeah.
because you have such a unique lifestyle, and I mean, acting, chef. So when you were doing the 13 years, you said, in the
Yeah.
States of working as a chef, trying to still do I'm sure, trying to get commercials and lead roles.
Yeah.
What was were you traveling internationally at that time? Like, what you said your grandfather was
Oh,
Jamaican, so.
yeah, yeah. I was not traveling. It was just like just focus. I couldn't afford to travel
Mm,
and like do what I wanted to do. So it was like if I wanted to travel, it would take like at least close to like a year to try to like
mhm.
plan up, especially because like the way I travel, like I travel for foods. I don't want to travel and like have something behind my back. So it's like I want to make sure I have a surplus of money when I travel.
Mm,
It takes quite a bit of time, especially being in the US, health insurance, car insurance, all like, rent. It's hard to save.
yeah, yeah.
So it was just like a conundrum trying to figure out like how to do it to where I was like, you know what? maybe instead of just traveling, maybe I should just move.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. I appreciate you sharing that. So, okay, and let's speak to that part real quick before we talk about if you should just move, because you're right. I think the biggest thing that we all get caught up is in the known devil in the United States, where we're like, okay, we know we have to work.
Yeah,
We're working to do what? Take care of rent or a mortgage, take care of a
it's a
car note,
cycle.
take care of insurance, like you said, take care of any other, miscellaneous things that we need to take care of just to live and survive. It's like you're saying the preparation to just say go for a week somewhere, internationally, it takes you about a year or two in advance because you have to make sure you're budgeting accordingly to take care of the responsibilities.
Yes.
So then on top of that, just to have a little bit extra to enjoy yourself when you go out because you got to pay for the flight, you got to pay for the place to stay,
Mhm.
you got to pay for the excursions if you're going to do it right. So that all adds up. So that becomes even more of a chore and responsibility. And a lot of people, I think, not only don't take that initiative, but to try to think about living abroad is like that's not even a thought because just doing that alone takes so much work, right? Just to
Yeah.
go out for a week or so. So you said your thought was after looking at all that, you said it might just be easier just to move abroad,
Mhm.
right? Just to just flat out just do it all, right, in
Yeah.
one shoot. So
Just figure it out.
what gave you that idea though, brother? Like, I mean, because if you were working hard just to try to travel, you didn't want to bite off your shoulder,
Mhm.
and you didn't do a whole lot of traveling. What gave you the idea to say just move and just go? If you're my man, like, can you?
Well, I mean, well, all right. So I've never been to Thailand before I moved here. I
Okay.
kind of just like my dad. My dad married a Filipino, and then he went to the Philippines, and he told me how great Asia was. And he's like, "Oh yeah, you should try it out." And he's like, "Try Thailand." I'm like, "Why not?"
Okay.
So I was just like, you know what? Before I even like moved here, I was like, got my condo,
Hmm.
came, and it was the best thing I ever did. It was like, oh my god,
That is phenomenal. So pops got married to a Filipino young lady.
yeah,
Get put the seed in your head.
got me the insight, and
Uh,
then got my other family over here.
okay. All right. So yeah, because I want to get to that
Yeah,
part. But so with that, because people will say, okay, some people have traveled. Right? How young are you?
32.
32, young man. So you've been here for 3 years. So you did it at 28, 27,
Yeah,
28, right?
uh-huh.
That's remarkable that you did it so young. But let's say someone's listening to you, who has had the idea, they have traveled before, but still the idea of, because you didn't even, had never been here.
Yeah,
Pops is in the Philippines, but he's telling you, what research did you do before even hearing from Pops? What research did you start to put in place to say, yeah, you've never been to Thailand.
yeah.
So how did you like put your finger on it and say, this is it? This is where I possibly can get started. Like, what were you doing?
I was looking at, I started looking at culinary schools.
Okay.
So I started looking at any type of like schooling that I could try to do because whatever I started looking up, like it started coming back
Mhm.
visa. Like, what can you possibly do? And at the time when I was looking for it, I was going to go into culinary school, but then at the time they weren't offering visas for it.
Okay.
And then the culinary schools that they were offering visa, it was all in Thai. So I'm like, it's like I could probably get away with it to an extent, but not too much.
Right.
So I just decided to. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna figure it out.
Okay.
I was just like, I just took the risk, and like my biggest thing that I try to tell anybody moving here is, it's not what you know, it's who you know. No matter how much money you have, like it is who you know here, because who you know will make or break
Okay.
how you live here.
Respect. Okay. So please elaborate. That's a great point. So elaborate to that. How did you figure out? Because you didn't know any. Well, you didn't know about Thailand. You had never been
Yeah,
here. But how did you find your connection, and what did you do?
it's funny. I got a condo, and majority of the people that I've met to this day that still help me out and like still guide me,
Mhm.
I met in an elevator.
Okay. Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I literally just how I met you, just like in the gym, just genuine conversations, just like those times when you sit there in the elevator and you don't like someone standing next to you, you don't want to speak to them. You should,
Yeah.
because literally I could think of like a few times where it's like, if I wouldn't have opened up to the person next to me, I wouldn't be living the life I live now, because
Mm.
that person has made me many connections to like, it's just, it's crazy how like the domino effect works.
That's real. I like that. And I appreciate you sharing that. The fact that you open up and talk to people just because you move abroad doesn't mean that you still, you don't
Yeah,
get
you
shut down
should.
and be isolated. You need to open up even further.
Yeah, you have to. Like I was telling you before, it's just like just because you move abroad doesn't mean your problem's finished. No,
Hmm.
if anything, they get worse.
Hmm.
It's just this is a better place to handle
Yeah.
it.
Okay. Okay. Respect. So you made the move. You just you found you found a condo and just said, okay, I'm coming over here. Just dropped everything and just came. Single guy who could do that,
Mhm.
you know. And again,
Yeah.
I was too up until recently, so I respect that. Did you before you left? Did you you made a good point. It's about who you know, but did you try to work on the amount of money you had stacked? And that you don't have to say specifics, but did you work on like, okay, I need to have this amount before I dip, or you just like,
Oh yeah, like trust me. I mean, I'm the type of person where it's like I've worked in Michelin star restaurants, but the thing is, like, I don't mind working at a 7-Eleven to sit there and get my like thing processed. Like, it doesn't matter where I've worked, how good I am. It's like as long as am able to sit there and put feet on the ground and work and like build something, then
you're good?
yeah.
So when you came, did you have to put feet on the ground and actually go boost around the
Well,
world?
I mean, like I had to put feet on the ground to like network.
Okay, okay,
You can't legally work here
yeah,
without like finding the proper channels to do so.
okay. So
So
how long did that process take for you once you did come here, get a place, got a roof over your head? How long was the process for you? Would you say 3 months, 6 months before you actually got yourself legally paperwork, like whatever it was that you had to go through?
8 months.
8 months. Okay.
8 months. And the thing is though, it wasn't even for really work. It was 8 months to figure out exactly like my purpose here in Thailand.
Okay.
So it's like, I was trying to do like I got my TEFL, so it's like I was studying to be a teacher. But then like once I did that, I kind of figured out like I don't have a degree. So I was like, oh well maybe I should work on a degree because if you get a TEFL, yeah, you shouldn't work, but you can work, without a bachelor's degree. But the thing is that you're very limited to how much you can get. Maybe like 20,000 baht a month, like, for the lowest part. But if you have a degree, that can go up to 50.
Okay.
So it's like, I was just getting the back end. So I was like, you know what? Let me just go to university and just study for my master's degree.
And that's what you're doing now.
It's like 3 years in, about to graduate soon. So
Okay. And so you're saying a key term that I haven't heard of. You said you got your TOEFL?
TEFL. So that's your certification to teach English.
Okay. Okay.
So for here in Bangkok, you need your TEFL and you need a bachelor's degree to be able to like teach legally.
Okay. Okay. Fantastic.
So
So you got your TOEFL.
TEFL was just missing the bachelor's degree. So you'll have some people that will hire you like, part time, but nothing full time with like, visa
Mhm.
benefits.
Okay. Okay. And you found that that was the better work to get into teaching, as opposed to any other avenue of work?
It's the easiest if you have a degree. It's like one of those things where it's like if you need money real quick, it's like you don't mind sitting there working, go and teach. At least you can what my dad always told me, it's easier to find a job when you have a job.
Right.
You
Right.
know?
Smart.
Yeah, so it's like as long as you can sit there and get some income, you can look for other work.
Okay. Okay. So is your primary source of financial acumen based out of Thailand now, or do you still make earnings from back in the US as well?
Um, some earnings.
Mhm.
So my dad and I were doing medical tourism.
Okay.
So like we're getting that, and we have some investors that are like investing. We're just waiting on a few licenses.
Hmm.
So that, but majority I'd say comes from Thailand, from like doing shoots, like cooking part time.
Right. Okay. From your acting and modeling gigs and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So okay, but primarily it comes from Thai baht.
yeah.
Okay. Beautiful. All right. So I think it's fascinating, brother, what you're doing. And you said you and Pops decided to go into business together. Now, is he still in the Philippines?
Oh well, no, he's in America, but well, he's in America. My stepmom, she's a realtor in the Philippines,
Okay.
so she has like property there. So they just go to the Philippines, check on like property, and then they come and visit me whenever they can.
Okay. Okay. Nice. Okay. So you
Mhm.
do have before it was you, it was Pops that was more international. Like you did mention, you briefly mentioned. I want to get into this now. You came here, right?
Uh-huh.
Got yourself established. Took you 8 months or so to really get your clarity of what it was you were doing.
Yeah.
When did you start getting the other family members, and who do you have here now with you, and how is that how did how'd you get them over?
So it would be my first cousin, Jade. He he was always interested. He's more like me, traveler, like open minded. but he needed he needed a plan like drawn out for him.
Oh,
And yeah,
detail.
like very detailed plan, like something he could look at on paper and see like, okay, can understand it. So
Okay,
I did that.
okay.
And like from someone who's looking from the outside in, it's easier to formulate a plan of
Mhm.
like, it's easy to formulate a plan for other people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah. Always
some of the best counseling is done when you talking to somebody else and like
been.
yourself, like, "I should do that same shit."
It's
Like,
like,
damn.
damn. It's just like, yeah, you should do this, but he took it lightly, and it's like no judgment. It's just like, look, I can't do what you're doing because I got my own thing. But if you want to at least be here, I can give you the steps to do so.
Okay.
Because it's like when you're living here, you see all this media, but you never see everything like structured and filtered. I'm like, I can structure and filter it to you. It's like I don't want to sit there and make a course. Like I know exactly how to. Like I know the blueprint. I know exactly how to get someone here, get them making money. But I don't want to. I don't have the time for that. I'd rather just do it for someone that like I genuinely love, like my
Mhm,
family,
mhm.
and then have them benefit. And it's just like that's my good. At least I know you're living a better life. And it's like a little selfish for me. It's like I don't have to travel to go see you.
Yeah.
So it's like I just gotta take a motorbike. So it's like
So I think that's beautiful, brother. So question for you. That's awesome that you took the initiative to help walk him step by step and made it more tactile for him to be able to
yeah.
see clearly the steps. If you don't mind, without going into too much detail, what would be like this? What were like the first one or two or most important things you said to him? Because obviously you knew how to do it.
Mhm.
What were the first one, two things that you would say are important for someone who's looking to come here, say to Bangkok specifically? From the US that you share with him to get him going?
I'd say make sure that it's exactly what you want to do, but also find an online job. I didn't stress enough. I was like, find some sort of online work
Okay.
because at the end of the day, you're gonna make it happen if you want. Like once you get that online job, because it's not just getting the online job, it's getting the online job and then having to maintain it while moving on the other side of the world with the time change.
Mhm.
Because he did that, but be that in mind, you work at you work at 6 p.m. and it's like, here you're gonna be working at like, 12 a.m. to like 6 like
Mhm.
a.m. So
Yep.
it's like you're gonna be working like graveyard shift here, but you're gonna live a better life, like in the long run. So I just had to tell them, with the time change, like depending on the online job that you're doing.
Okay.
But I'd say, definitely get an online job, save money, and don't just move here because it's cheap. Find something you genuinely want to do.
Mm,
Because if you just move here because it's cheap, you're going to spend money. You have to find something that keeps you grounded, keeps you wanting to learn.
mm,
I tell people like, speak Thai. Like not a lot of people like learning languages, but it'll make you fit in. And it'll be a lot less harder.
yeah. All I got is
Eh,
Kapu Cup.
Yeah,
Swear to
couple
God,
times.
that's all I got right now. Oh, you should know a little bit though, right? Let
Yeah.
me but that's good though. So how long did it take you to learn how to do
Oh shit! Like even though I've been here like 3 years, I'm probably say I'm like maybe at a good 7%.
okay, okay.
It's hard. Like
Yeah, it's a
my
tough thing.
university, doesn't really strictly focus on like Thai language. So
Mhm.
it's like I had like one course Muay Thai, one course Thai, but the course was only 7 classes for the whole course. So it's like you can't really do a lot
Yeah,
of
you can do a
learning.
lot, yeah. So,
So
but I mean, you date here, right? And you
yeah,
say you go out with friends. So, do you find it easy to learn the language that way, or I mean, roughly
it's easier to learn it that way to an extent,
to an
but it's
extent?
yeah, to an extent, but then it's like it all just depends on who you're dating because just like, like they have different dialects,
Mhm, mhm.
so it's like,
Regionally, yeah,
yeah, like
the
yeah, regionally.
regions.
So it's like, you're dating a girl from Bangkok. It's like my girlfriend in particular, like she's from Isan.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's like even if like she speaks Thai, it's like what she's saying in Thai doesn't necessarily always mean that in
Yeah,
Thai. It's like
yeah.
it's something else. So it's confusing in itself.
Interesting. Yeah. So, but it's like you said, it's the same kind of like in different parts of the world and regional, and then how fluency if they're say like we say you're from the hood, you talk a little
Yeah,
different, or if you're
yeah.
from the burbs, you talk. I get it. Okay.
Or just like English and it's like Jamaican patois.
Yeah,
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 like
yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So, okay, and I appreciate so you keep referencing quality of life, as far as, like, live better, and so to you, tell the audience, like, what that means, because I try to say all the time, like, I've lived in 14 different countries, I've been here in Thailand, in total living here straight. But
Mhm.
in my visits here, I've been here almost totality a year. And I keep trying to tell people that it's a better quality of life living abroad. But I would love for you to express to them, because you've been living here for now for 3 years. You shared that with your cousin to get him out here. What does that mean to you and what does it look like for you?
Peace.
Peace.
It's the fact that it's like I can just wake up in the morning and then just like just breathe. Like it's like I get to live this life, and I'm happy for it. But it's like, oh, damn. Sorry, I got into that. Can you repeat that one more time?
No, take it.
Yeah.
No, take your time. No, I think it's you said peace. You can breathe. What when you say that though, because someone will say, "Well, I can do that same thing in the states." What?
Yeah, you could do that same thing in the States, but the thing is, so you still have that thing in the back of your mind knowing that it's like, yeah, I could do that, but at what cost?
Mm,
It's like you got to sacrifice something. It's just like, in the US, it's always give or take. It's never just like take and just accept and just like live. It's like you always have to sacrifice something. And it was like I was saying before, it's like just like a hamster running on a wheel.
mm,
It's just like, where am I going? I'm just working out for what? Just making myself tired. Yeah, it's like I might be enjoying a little bit of the ride sometimes, but it's just a cycle. And
mhm,
then it's like, I just saw an equation and it was like, I didn't see me being happy at the end of it.
mm.
And so I was like,
Interest
let me just take myself out of it,
Yes, sir. Yes,
you know?
that's beautifully stated. You saw an equation, you didn't see yourself being happy at the end of it. Let me ask you this, because you've lived here now for 3 years, you've been here with the peace that you have, with the ability to wake up and exhale, like you said, and just breathe and be. What do you think locals are thinking of us when we come over, and do they have that same type of, I guess, relaxation feel to you because they're from here, natives who are from here? Do you think they look at us and they say, here comes an American, just trying to.
I think it all depends on the energy you put out. So, like, if you're putting out good energy, then people are generally going to be happy that you're here,
Okay.
especially Thai people. As long as you're like putting it, just I mean, just like my brother the other day, no, yesterday he was telling me that he went to 7-Eleven and some Thai people, a Thai person bumped into him last night, like trying to start a problem. But then another Thai person, you know, like like he sat there and went like this to him. He just like after he bumped into him, and my brother, he's like, he's he's in the army, he went like this, like everything okay? And then he's like, he just walked up, but then another guy got into his face, and then my brother's like, is everything good? It's like as long as you're never confrontation, you just have to show a good morals like character, even if you're shown with hostility. A lot of the times they're just trying to get you to react.
Mm,
But if you show with kindness, then it's like that's why I was just like, even if you have a problem here, show it with kindness because you'll be surprised the different result that you're gonna get.
right, right, right.
Because some people will try to like. I've been here quite a while, so it's like some people might try to like get a rile out of you because if you hit a Thai person, it's 20,000 bucks. You got to sit there and pay. So
Mhm.
you'll find some people that like might try to get a rile out of you. If you just
So you say if
say,
you hit a Thai person, it's 20,000. What do you mean? You say, be clear when you say like if you physically hit
yeah,
somebody or.
physically, yeah, like you normally like if you're going out, like you go to the bars or anything, and it's like you get into an altercation, and it's like you assault somebody. It's about like 20,000 to 30,000, so it's like $5,000. You know, I've never had it, yeah, but I've had people tell me that. I'm like, oh, it's not. Damn,
Yeah.
I can see why if someone doesn't have a lot of money in their tie and they
Mm,
see a foreigner and they could just try to rouse them up.
yeah. Well, I think that's a good point. I've never had that issue at all.
Yeah, yeah. I've
And
never had, but
right, and you
yeah.
sound like a very easygoing guy, so
Mhm.
I think I agree. But I'm sorry. I'm glad your brother, like you said, is ex-military, so he has understanding of that you diffuse it before it goes.
You think I'm easygoing, he's even more easygoing.
Yeah,
So he's just like, "Wait, what?" He's like seemed out of place. "Me? What did I do?"
older or younger brother?
Younger.
Younger. Okay, so
Mm.
okay, you buried a lead. So you got your cousin out here and your brother out here.
I have 2 cousins,
Two.
so one cousin from Orlando, well, my brother's from Orlando too, Orlando, Miami, and then my cousin from the UK.
Okay. Okay.
So I have 3 family members that I brought out
Oh,
here.
so you really doing international family mix coming. That's
Yeah,
good stuff, brother.
yeah.
You know what? I tip my hat to you for getting them out here. That's awesome. So
It took a while. It wasn't easy. It was like it was more of just like, here's a breadcrumb.
mm,
Just like 'cause especially some people, they don't like being told, like, you know what I mean? Sometimes they just have to experience. I'm just like, you know what? Because my cousin and my brother were actually supposed to move here at the same time, but they my brother felt like we were trying to,
mm.
and this was like a year ago. My cousin moved here like a year ago, but we were trying my brother just moved here like 2 months, like a
Okay,
month
so
ago.
he's brand new.
But the thing is that he felt like we were trying to push him back then, but now that he's finally here, he's like, "I'm sorry." He should have just because he ended up going to Texas, getting a job, getting in debt,
Mm,
just because of like he felt like we were trying to push him. We're like, "No, we're not trying to push you. You could definitely live genuinely live a better life here."
mm,
It's like, I don't understand why you're gonna do it, but I was like, "Look, I'm here. I'm doing my own thing. I'm always gonna be here.
mhm.
Do it, figure it out, then come back to me." 6 months later, he did.
Okay. Okay. I
And
think
then
that speaks volumes because my platform is for men like us. You're a little younger than most of the guys I talk to, but I think it's beautiful to hear you say that because you didn't force you like you say you left breadcrumbs. You let them go through his experience of going to Houston. He had the experience that
he
day.
had to
But
experience it.
I think that's the biggest thing though too is that experience in all levels, right? All we can do, like you said, is be a light and be a guide to say a beacon of like, look, we're expressing to you what we've experienced, what we know to be real. But you do have to kind of know for yourself if you're willing to make this leap. And you have to go through some of the experiences sometimes. And he's young, you say younger brother too, right?
Yeah,
So
it's 28.
yeah, 28. So he's still in his 20s. So again, but the fact that you all that's because I didn't leave the States until I was 37. So you guys
Mhm.
are a decade is still ahead of me, from the standpoint of having this experience, but you are very very wise and humble in how you deliver it, and I appreciate that. So I'm happy to have you talk to the audience about
Yeah.
this and get clarity. So let me ask you this part because I just want to make sure we help people understand. When we say that you breathe, it's a better quality of life. Let me give an example. I'll let you jump in at any point in time. For me, when I say that, right, as a 44-year-old black man who I lived 37 years primarily in the U.S., the pressure of racism, right?
Yeah.
The conflict not only that we have with the opposing, race, right? The opposite race, uh, but also too the weight that we feel from being Black Americans and having to push ourselves in such a dynamic way. Not to say that we can't be successful because it helped me be successful, but there's a certain level of breathing that I feel of exhaling, like you said, where I don't feel that same type of pressure, but I still have the responsibility because I'm never trying to escape the responsibility of being a black man
Mhm.
in any part of the world. But I feel a lot more invigorated to be a black man living abroad because I feel like now I'm representing, the ancestry, my parents well, because I'm in an area where they're not used to us.
Yeah.
And as they get more, and as they see us interact, like you said, if someone comes and bumps me and they get the energy that, oh, I'm not this character that you saw in the movie last
Ancestor.
night.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah, yeah.
saying? I'm
Mhm.
able to show you in real time, no, we're not all just out here pants below our waist, thugging, which is not, I
Yeah.
mean, that's our culture, but that's not all of us, right?
Yeah.
So I get that. I don't get that pressure that I feel in the States. So can you kind of elaborate for you what you feel about like that when you say like, is it that as well, or is it not that for you? What is it for you that you feel like you don't have that same type of pressure? If that
Uh,
makes sense, what I'm trying to ask.
I mean, I don't see that pressure here mainly. Like, if anything, yes, the way that people see me as a black man, and it's like, oh, okay, like, and here's the thing, it's like a lot of Thai people here, they'll try to sit there and figure out like, yeah, they'll see if it's black, but then they'll try to figure out, are we like American black or
Mhm. Yeah,
are we
yeah, yeah.
African
Right. Are
black?
you a UK? You
Like,
European?
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Which one?
No, it's not even just like, American or UK. It's like they bunch this all together. It's like Western or African. It's like they look, like I mean, regardless for black, but then it's like if they have the chance to talk to us, they try to figure out, it's like, are you Africa? Are you
True,
American?
true facts.
But it's like regardless, like you just gotta be respectful, even though it sucks. It does suck because it's like s- from African brothers, it's just a stigma out here. They don't really have a good name sometimes out here.
Mm.
So it's like just being black. You can
What's the stigma they have as far as like what, like being aggressive, being
Oh, no, no, no. And specifically in Thailand, it's just drugs.
drugs? Okay,
It's just drugs.
okay.
So it's like if they see black man and they can't really tell like if what type of black you are, like if
Hmm.
you're Western or African, they think you're selling drugs.
Hmm. Wow.
Especially in the wrong area. Like I've been put in handcuffs just because of like literally just standing on the corner one time.
So there is a level of racial profiling still to a
There
degree.
is, but
The country profiling, I
yeah,
guess.
yeah, 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 because it's like as soon as they took my ID, I saw like my Florida like state driver's
Yeah, yeah,
license.
yeah.
They were just like, "Oh, sorry," and they took me off. They're like, "We thought you were African." I'm like, "That doesn't make me feel any
Right. So
better."
arrested because I'm African, like,
Yeah, I was like, "Wait, what?" I was like, "Luckily, I'm American, so I can get out of this situation." But
mm,
it's like, "Wait, hold on, what?"
yeah.
And so I was like, "Okay," but yeah, there are some stuff, but that's a whole different pyramid of how that works out with uh Thailand, which is probably take a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah, not like we
And
said, nothing is ever perfect.
nothing's ever perfect. Like I was telling you before,
Mm,
nothing is perfect, but I deal with it here and over there.
okay.
Because there's just less. I'm not just saying less challenges. It's less hate. It's less hate. And the thing is, though, it's just like people genuinely people are more genuine here because it's like, yeah, people will sit there and look at you, follow you around in the store, but they generally just want to, like I was telling you before, like, people just like just follow you around in the store, but they generally just want to like they're literally just like, oh, he's about to ask me for help,
Right. Not
Yeah,
like what's he gonna take? What's he
yeah,
gonna
like it's
steal?
just
Like
it's like, oh, like here's my opportunity to be helpful. It's like, it's like it's no ill will. It's like they genuinely just want to help you. But, it's just, the way some people are raised, it's like it kinda takes, like, a little bit
getting used to.
getting used
Yeah,
to.
yeah. No, I totally everything I totally concur and agree with him on that. It's not the same, like you said, when they follow us here. It's literally to genuinely want to help you. It's not the I'm about to see what he's going to put in his pocket or should do I need to kick him out type deal. So
Yeah.
and it is a different situation. I agree with you. So let me ask you this, brother. And I thank you again for all this
Oh, no
this
problem.
great wisdom you're sharing, and the fact you brought your brother over, your cousins over from the UK as well as from the United States. You have talked about the quality of life. I appreciate that. You said that the two things, if you were to tell someone, make sure, well, three things kind of, make sure they really know what they want to do and, coming over here, get an online job, right, was
Mhm.
one. And then it was the third thing you said, you had mentioned, I forget, but those are two primary things, right? Know what you really want to do and get an online job
Visa.
and the visa. Okay.
Yes.
So just tell them again about the visa piece. Like, what's your
So,
point of view?
there are different ways to get a visa. So you could do, learn, Thai school, so you can learn Thai.
Hmm.
Thai. Me personally, I'm studying for a bachelor's degree, so I have a university government, visa, so it's a little bit stronger. But, there are other ways if you don't wanna learn, you can pay. So DTV visa, other ways you can buy a condo. I believe that's a new visa
Hmm.
that they're doing. You can buy a condo for at least like 2 million baht, and that can give you a visa. Always, always check your visa laws because that's one thing that'll get you bammed up here.
Hmm.
Is is just the visa. And the thing is, of living in Thailand, it's kind of like because laws change all the
All the
time.
time. Yep.
All the time. It's like, 1 month it's 60 days to get in. The next month it's 30. It's like you have a 5-year visa. Now they have a 2-year
Hmm.
visa. So, it's just like riding a wave. You
Yeah.
just gotta constantly be ready for
Right. And make
it.
sure you hop on at the right
But
time and right place for you. And
but
that's
it keeps you on your toes. It's like it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, it's like I can be laid back, but I can't be too laid back.
mhm.
It keeps you going.
So for you, because you're on the student, right?
Mhm.
What length of time does that give you as far as
So since I'm on a government student ID, the length of my visa depends on my grades.
okay,
So
okay.
if you are like a C, like a D, if you're like a D student,
Mm,
and you pretty much have to go to immigration like every 2 months. But if you have like, B's, like C, B's, A's,
mhm.
then they'll give you like you can just go to immigration like, 6 months. If you're straight A student, then it's like they'll just give you a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're in the 6 month range.
Yeah. I'm
Okay,
in
okay.
6 month range. Because it's like I'm juggling so much. So it's like I'm just proud because I'm just proud I'm doing that because like even though I'm 30 now, when I was like 18, 20 going to FAU, like that wasn't even
Working
yeah.
right.
It wasn't working. So it's like, at least, like you said, wiser with age. So it's
Yes,
like I can
yes.
maintain it better now instead of being so young going like in college, especially in the US. Like,
Right.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's crazy and it's if anything more affordable here.
Mhm.
But the thing is though, living here on your own, if you don't have like mental stability and like, restraint, you are going to go broke very
Mhm.
fast
Mhm. I talk to
because
people about it all the time.
yeah, because the lifestyle is different. There's so much more freedom. No one can
Mhm.
really tell you no if you have enough money.
Mhm.
So you got to sit there and just know when is enough.
Yeah. Plus, because what I always try to tell people is when you're in parts of the world like this, and where the U.S. dollar is, stronger by 3 to 1, 4 to 1 in
Yeah.
certain cases, you don't if you don't budget, you're what you think is just because it's so cheap, you actually end up buying more, spending more, trying to take care of
Absolutely.
everybody. Right. It becomes it's not so cheap because it starts to add up, but if you're not budgeting accordingly, it can happen to you quickly. And I've seen it happen. I experienced it myself years ago when I first came out. I'm like, oh well, I get three of those. Let me get three of
Yeah,
those.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Those three add
Those
up
that
to
yeah.
to a regular amount of the US dollar. But like you said, because the quality of life is one where you want to be out, you want to get out. The food is good. The environments are unique. The restaurants are, reasonably priced and still very, very quality, 5 star ish. Even
Yeah.
if it's not 5 star, you're on the rooftop. You tend to, like you said, spend and do a little bit more than what you would even if you were back home, right? Because going to Fontainebleau, I can only get one drink, right?
Yeah.
Fontainebleau,
Yeah. Probably.
whereas I've come over
Goddamn.
here, I go to Octavia, whatever the rooftop restaurant, and
Yeah.
I
Five.
can get five or
Yeah.
six,
Yeah.
right? But then that night ends, I'm getting 5, 6 for you, 5, 6 for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Very
And
true.
now that equals, what would be same
One
night.
night at just like something.
Exactly,
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly. So, I think, and you bring up a very valid point. I'm glad you brought that up. Is just you still have to come out with a strategy. You have
Yes.
to have a plan, and you have to be disciplined. Everything you hear him saying, Jordan has been disciplined, even though he just made the hop to just move out here. He's been very disciplined in his approach because he's like, look, when I get here, I'm okay with still doing what I got to do to work. I can, get a job at, like you said, 7-Eleven if I need to. Not to say he's a 7-Eleven worthy, but his work ethic is he'll do what needs to get done in order to be able to do what he wants to do.
Yeah.
Right. So you have to make sure you're planning accordingly. And like he said, getting a remote job. I own my own business that allows me to do what I do, and I have a steady income coming from that as well as other streams of income. But I'm also 44, so I've been able to put things in place. Right, as a young 30, early late 20s, young 30-year-old man, you hear the discipline and how he delivers himself and how he's actually also too trained and brought his other family members over. I'm sure you made sure they had things in place as well, or you saw a trajectory of what they were going to be able to put in place to be able to sustain. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Right. So you have to make sure, ladies and gentlemen, even though we talk about that ability to breathe and that, it's a quality of life that's totally different, you still have to, how they say you could take the person out the hood, but the hood's still in the person.
Yeah.
You can, like he said, just because you leave doesn't mean that the problems stop. Like he said it absolutely correct. Because I've said this, we both share the same energy can amplify itself, and you don't want it to do that by being here in a foreign country and not being able to take care of your basic, fundamental needs. All right, because then the weight still is on you as if it was if you were back home in the States, even worse. Okay, but I hope it was making sense what we're sharing with you. If you can do this before we wrap up,
Mhm.
I thank you again for your time,
Oh,
brother.
no problem.
You've been fantastic. Y'all would never know it's his first time doing this, so you're
Yeah.
doing a great job. You're doing a great job. Um, if you can give like maybe one or two pros and one or two cons, let's start with the cons. So I was like, a good note. So give one or two cons that people need to be aware of moving out here. We kind of talked about it with like, as a black person, until you open your mouth or they see your ID, sometimes you might get that run in, with, people thinking you're African, but beyond that, what would be some of the cons? Is it the fact that it's the visas you got to check into? Is it tight quarters? What would be some of the cons that you would say? The language barrier. What would be the cons?
I would say some of the cons would be the regulations of the law, definitely visas, language barrier, definitely a big thing. And
Just real quick, those three regulation of laws. What do you mean when you say that could be a problem? Like in what way? Because I mean we have laws in the U.S. too.
there's regulations of laws and how you're able to understand it as a public. Because even though they changed laws, it's like for personally you and me, they changed laws, but it's like, how do we know?
Yeah, true,
You
true.
know, it's
It's
like
just yeah, know it now.
it's like how do we know unless we speak the language or we have like our like a reputable of like social media outlet to where we could actually fully get that information correct because it's like especially dealing with the laws here in Thailand for immigration, it's like you don't like this is a great and amazing place to live, but you want to make sure, like I said, this is a great and amazing place to live, but the last thing you want to do is going to Thai jail, because
Hmm.
that is one of the worst. Thai jail is probably one of the worst prisons on earth. Like,
That's what I've
yeah,
heard. That's
yeah.
what I've heard.
So it's just like that's what you see friendly people. We're not. We're all not friendly people. So that's just like one of the visa things will get you banned up and sent there
Mm,
just for a regular visa. One of the worst jails in the world. You'll get banned up for a visa. That's why it's like cons. Make sure you get your visa because even if you overstay, you still got to go to jail. You don't want
mm,
to have to do that
right.
for any
Any purpose, any reason.
any purpose. So make sure you do your visa. And if like shit, if you know the language, then it's like that'll open up doors.
Okay.
Like I've been here 3 years, but it's like if I know the language, I could have opened so many more doors with
Hmm.
less time.
Yeah.
So like just like the language barrier is cons. Um, I think
I think those three are
yeah,
solid.
yeah, yeah, those things, yeah.
So what will be the pros, the top one or two, three pros that you have?
People,
Okay.
people, community, food.
Okay. All right. People, community, food. Okay. So people in what regard? Like the friendly, easy, like easygoing. Is that the reason why you say people?
Easygoing, willing to help. I mean, I remember like 2 weeks ago, I had to do a project and I needed to find some glue. I went to Home Pro and
Mhm.
apparently like that's their version of Home Depot.
Yeah. Right.
So I went there and I was trying to get this glue, but I couldn't figure out which adhesive I needed. And it ended up having 5 random people that didn't even work there
Come in.
just come and like literally just would help me Google, like trying to figure out how to glue this box. And like, I'm literally surrounded by 5 people. One of them worked there. The other 4 people didn't
Just a
work
regular.
there. Yeah. And then it's like, once we figured it out, it's like, oh, they helped me get the glue. And then like, I'm sitting there just like, I had to get like some trash bags. Next thing you know, the guy came out of nowhere. Like after, like, this is like 10 minutes after the guy came out of nowhere. Ends up, he's like, you know what? I ended up like doing more research and I'm like, this is the glue you
That's
need. And then he took the glue out of my thing and he's like, this is what you need. It's like, it's in bowed. I'm like, thank you. Oh my God.
that part, bro. That part. I'm glad you said that. That is exactly how they are.
Yeah.
You said the guy went back, did more research for your glue that they had already found. You had already
Yeah,
found.
he already
Yeah,
found.
right. Like,
I thought I was good.
right, right. Like, he's like, no, 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 no. This is what you really need for what you
Yeah.
try. It's like, where do you get that type of like free, like
And the
you
thing
need
is,
to?
like, he found me something that was stronger
Mm-hmm.
and cost me less money. That was the thing. That was just like, yo, not only did you come out of your way, you found me something that was better, save me money. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
I'm about to break you off just because you took care
and
of
the
me.
thing is, he wasn't even taking it.
That's how they
He
are,
was
right?
just
Yeah.
like, here, this is the Japanese glue. This is Japanese glue. Thai people love using this. He's like, good. You just like leave no wrinkle, nothing, nothing.
And then,
I was like, oh shit, thank you.
so Pete, speaking, he's absolutely correct. The people are amazing. You said the next was community.
Community. It's just like, and that's just like, when I say community, it's like, yeah, you have your community, but it's like just other foreigners that are like just like you. So mhm, it tends to mean just like when I came out here, you do have, some people that are weird, but then it's like majority of the time you'll find people that are genuinely like you. It's like, especially when I find Black Americans, especially like because it takes so much for a Black American to come out here, and it's like they already know some. At least most of them, they're representing, like how other people look at them.
Mm.
Because, like I said, when Thai people see us, they're trying to figure out is he Western Black? Is he Africa?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah.
So it's like majority of the time when I see African Americans come out here, it's genuinely good. You do have some people that come out here try to portray the wrong message of Thailand's, but it's like those only just a select few.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, majority of the ones that I do meet, like they're they're just trying. They're doing the same thing. It's just they don't have the. They're trying to escape, but they're not escaping with the knowledge. Sometimes that's what
Yeah.
I'm hoping. Like this video can like show some insight for other people wanting to like transition
Oh,
out
it
here.
is. I mean, your energy, it definitely will. It definitely is because you're transmuting that energy and showing correctly. So community, meaning expat community as
Yeah,
well,
yeah, expat
is very
community.
strong. And then you said third, food.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, talk about it. Yeah, I mean, this is coming from the chef, so if
yeah.
he's saying it, go ahead.
As far as food, oh my god, like I've tried pretty much. I wouldn't say every cuisine under the sun, but majority. And Thai food, it is just you just oh my god, it's just so good to where it's
Speechless.
like I have just now, like after 3 years, just now like started to limit myself on like controlling what I eat. But it's like even when I came out here, I've been trying to be on my fitness journey. It's just been hard,
Yeah.
like trying to cook, and then also it's like trying to come up because I try to like do Thai, but also Western. And like then it's like I'm also Jamaican and Puerto Rican, so I try
Hmm.
to do like Thai Jamaican or Thai Puerto Rican sometimes.
You just a mutt in a good way. You melt
Yeah.
the pot of everything. I love
Yeah, so
it.
it's like I just try to like because it's like I just love learning. I love creating. I love working with my hands, and I can't really cook as a job here. But it's
Mhm.
like I can still, like I can still practice and I can still teach myself, different things. Food is a like what I mean. Like I can never say I'm a master of food because food is forever.
It
Like
is always evolving.
so, it's like majority of the time, it's like I don't even really eat out unless I'm going to eat out to learn a specific cuisine. So it's like if I do eat out, like at a restaurant, it's like I looked at that restaurant and there's something in that restaurant I want to taste, so I know how to recreate it. So it's like going out for me is like more of like a learning curve.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's like
yeah.
I can try to like because you can see something on it, but it's like you don't really know how authentic, how like
Mhm.
what it actually tastes like. So like food here is like a big thing, and then it's like the spice. It's like being Jamaican,
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Master craftsman over here, ladies and I love it. The fact he said, "I go out to learn, not necessarily just to go out," and I love that. But I mean, you're fusing so many different, like you said, cultural from your own background into your craft. And I think again, like we talked about, when we first met, was continue doing what you're doing, your hustle and your focus and your discipline. It's going to manifest itself. But just continue working your process because I can't wait to see little packets of international meals that you create, you know what I'm saying, in different parts of the world, which is going to happen because like, you and your pops already got a great business idea going forward from there. Well, I appreciate you sharing those three things. So because